Okay, we are now live and we are going to be talking about sugar cravings. Let me just make sure that we are also live in our Facebook group that I can see myself. Hang on just a second. Yep, perfect. Lovely. Okay, happy Friday, friends. I have the Facebook group pulled up and I'll refresh this. So if you guys have any questions and you're here live, just go ahead and post those. So I prepared something that I have wanted to for you because we had a post from Alana on sugar cravings. I'm going to read it to you, and then I did a live in our Last Step weight loss support group and talked about the sugar cravings. I want to talk about where they come from, things to think about, and then how we think about and what we use to remedy them, because I know this is just obviously the time of year for that. By the way, if we have not met before, my name is Maya. I'm one of the dietitians here at Southwest Dietitian Group and the owner. And as always, if you're new to the group, welcome. We want to thank you so much for being here. We've founded Southwest Dietitian Group. I founded it on the premise of making services with a dietitian affordable with insurance, and kindness, sustainable change, and root cause. And change definitely doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey. Anything that you hear on social media about magic fixes and pills and people losing weight overnight is just not true. Anybody who's changed your health will tell you that. If you know my story, I've came down. Now it's taken me 20 years. I'm not saying it's going to take you 20 years, but I mean, I was over 200 pounds, pre-diabetes, anxiety, depression, stress, early perimenopause. There was a lot. And I was always looking for a better way to change my health. And not only did I find my way to become a registered dietitian, but I paired a lot of my work with just cognitive behavioral therapy and psychology, brain science, just to really understand how do I do what I know I should be doing, because sometimes knowing what to do and doing it are two completely different things. And then, of course, something that is important to know here is that combining what evidence will tell you about our health and nutrition with your unique individual body you can't get that online. And that's why you're here, and that's what we strive to do with you as registered dietitians at Southwest Dietitian Group, and of course support your overall journey. So let's get into sugar cravings, because 'tis the season, right? I'm going to refresh the screen over here. So again, if you guys are live and popping on, feel free to ask any questions you would like. Okay. New posts. Where did I go? I don't see me anymore. Let's refresh the screen here. Facebook does not make it easy sometimes. If I don't see myself, I'm just gonna keep going here. Okay, I don't, but let us keep going. So Alana has asked, she says, I have been having some intense sugar cravings for the last month that I've been giving into every single time. I know it's partially stress related, so I'd love to ask, how do you manage stress these days? Also, how do you manage sugar cravings? We're going to be focusing on the sugar craving piece. I do have PCOS, and I'm diagnosed with ADHD as well. I suppose I just have to push past the feeling, but I'll admit it's been getting to me. I'm still keeping active, but the cravings have been canceling it out. You guys also have some really good points. I pulled up all of the comments, and I'm certainly going to read those as well. Okay, so where do these sugar cravings come from? And then we want to talk about where do they come from, and then what can we do about that? Well, this is just as a disclaimer, in my experience, what the research shows us, what I have seen in practice, and I'm not a doctor, okay? That's the disclaimer here. So number one, and something that Alana has alluded to as well, For many of us, it's emotional eating. Now, emotional eating doesn't have to be stressed, anxious, depressed, sad. It could be bored and it could be happy. It could be holiday. It could be celebratory. It's still emotional eating. And emotional eating is not right or wrong, good nor bad. It's just the question of, is this in alignment with my goal? That's all. Is it in or out of alignment with my goal? So cause number one is emotional eating. We can certainly turn to that. Now, number two, and you can have one of these, all of these, two of these, none of these. Number two is, the way I like to describe it is, you have a carbohydrate sensitive body. So Alana posted this publicly, so that's why I'm sharing this, but she mentioned she has PCOS. So the way I like to explain this in practice often is I don't know that I've dove into the research particularly to look at this more intentionally. It's just something I've seen in practice for 20 years, and that some people have carbohydrate sensitive bodies. What does that mean? I have a carbohydrate sensitive body. It just means that if you and I were the same height, age, weight, sex, everything, that maybe you can eat 300 grams of carbohydrates a day, and if I ate 300 grams of carbohydrates a day, even if we had the same activity level, my body doesn't handle it as well as yours does. It just means I have a carbohydrate sensitive body. How do we know? Well, PCOS, insulin resistance, prediabetes, diabetes, perimenopause or menopause. I'm not saying this is true for perimenopause or menopause. It's just a decline in estrogen decreases our insulin insulin sensitivity on the cell level. If we don't know, a really good place that we can look is our triglyceride to HDL ratio. You take your triglycerides, divide it by HDL, the good cholesterol, and that really, the most optimal place is about 1 or less. 1 or less. Anything more could indicate some level of insulin resistance. Carbohydrate sensitive bodies, when we consume carbohydrates, we put on, this is actually everybody, not just carb sensitive bodies, we put on more water weight. Carbs hold more water. So, if you had more Christmas cookies last night, and you step on the scale and you see 2 pounds, you didn't eat 1 pound is 3,500 calories. You didn't eat 7,000 calories plus how many calories you burn in a day. You didn't do that. So it's not 2 pounds of fat. It's likely water weight. So carbohydrate sensitive bodies are a contributor to the sugar cravings, because once a carbohydrate sensitive body, being insulin resistant, in insulin resistance, the body is going to send you signals because it cannot get energy from fat or food anymore that we're giving it. It's going to send signals up to your brain and say, hey, I need more sugar and I need it now because I'm not getting any food, says the cell. So there's a even if that doesn't make sense, there's a physiological response here that carbohydrate sensitive bodies will want more sugar. And lastly, gut bugs. Gut bugs. Now, I'm not an expert in gut health. The easiest way I like to describe it is in our guts, we should have good bugs, bad bugs. If you think of a movie theater and all of the movie theater seats are populated with bugs, let's say the ratio is off and you have more bad bugs in the seats than you do good bugs. When we say bugs, I mean the gut microbiome. Bugs, you can take good bugs called probiotics. And if we have more bad bugs, well, bugs eat sugar. Bugs like carbohydrates. That's what feeds the bacteria. And so if I have more bad bugs than good bugs, if I just put a probiotic into my body, if I just enter more good bugs into the movie theater, there's nowhere for them to sit. So first thing that we have to do is work on getting rid of some of those bad bugs. But the gut imbalance, or the gut bugs that we have, our gut microbiome, the balance of those bugs is going to determine if we are craving more sugar. If you have experienced something such as small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, SIBO, small intestinal fungal overgrowth, oftentimes those sugar cravings, this is not a scientific word, they kind of feel otherworldly. I've had these things as well. They kind of feel otherworldly, like you just want that sugar. And when that gut bacteria and that balance has been corrected, sugar cravings go away almost naturally. Anybody who's had this experience will tell you that. This is something that you can work on with both the dietitian and doctor. So what do we do about this? But as a reminder, before we dive in, you can have one, you can have two, you can have all three. And if you have all three, I want you to know, or close to all three, these sugar cravings sometimes, similar to what Alana is experiencing, they can feel very, very strong and almost outside of ourselves a little bit. Those are just my words. I want you to know that it's not you. It's not, I'm not strong enough. I don't have enough willpower. I'm not capable. It's none of those things. There are imbalances, whether it's a stress eating imbalance or a carbohydrate sensitive body or gut bugs or hormones. There are imbalances. So this isn't about you being strong enough. That's not what we're going after here. We want to work with your body, correct those imbalances to bring you back into balance, because a balanced body doesn't experience super strong sugar cravings. Now, why are we doing this right now, and why did Alana post this? Because during the holiday season, more sugar comes in. So more white sugar comes in. We're feeding more of the gut bugs. We are creating more insulin resistance. If we have a bad night of sleep, that feeds into it. We have a lot of happy eating. If we have a history of emotional eating and stress eating, that feeds into it. And then we get into the all or nothing cycles, the guilt or shame cycles. So what do we do about it? Let's talk about it. I'm going to refresh the screen here. See if you guys... Nope. Okay. What do we do about it? Well, I have some notes here in no particular order. I'm going to go through the kind of the low-hanging fruit first. Number one, sleep. There are lots that can get in the way with sleep. Work on your sleep. When we don't sleep, when we don't get quality sleep or enough quantity of sleep, what is sleep? Sleep gives us energy, right? Sleep gives us energy. And so if we are not giving the body sleep, the body will give us messages that says, well, if I'm not getting sleep, where else do I get energy? Energy is carbs. Carbohydrates are literal energy for the body. So if I'm not getting enough sleep, your body will give you messages to eat more sugar and carbs. So that's one thing, is to work on sleep. I'm going with low-hanging fruit here first. Next is protein. You can rely on other macronutrients, protein and fat. So making sure that your protein is increased, making sure you can focus on healthy fats, Mediterranean type diet fats, that will also help. If fat is too low, then bringing that up a little bit will help reduce those sugar cravings too. Talk to your dietitian about how to do that and how to bring that in for yourself. I'm also going to make mention of what everybody had mentioned to Alana in the comments, because there's great ones. Everybody had a wonderful response. Actual sugar intake. Working on, I know this is the holiday, I get it. Working on actual sugar intake. So I don't agree with this, generally speaking. That's my opinion, which we want to leave as medical health professionals here at SDG, our opinion out of things, and work on what does the evidence say, what does science say, and how does it fit into your lifestyle. Okay, so the American Heart Association says that the recommendation of added sugar, and the take home of what to do here is to reduce your added sugar. That's another step you can take. American Heart Association says to have no more than 6 teaspoons a day for women, which is 25 grams of added sugar. Now, when I say added sugar, if you flip over and you look at a nutrition fact label, it'll say added sugar. Literally, this is what I'm talking about. So no more than 25 grams a day for women, no more than 38 grams a day for men, which is 9 teaspoons. Now, for reference, a regular can of soda, not diet soda, a regular can of soda has about 40 grams of sugar. Okay, so that just gives you a frame. We are getting a lot of added sugar during the holidays. So whatever we can do to work to minimize that, that's number 3. Again, these are in no particular order. Number 4, if you are an emotional eater, that is something that needs your attention. Whether that is a module that we work on and we work on intently in the Last Step weight loss program with me and our support groups,
It's something I run. It is with Southwest Dietitian Group. It's $49 a month, cancel anytime. We work on it intently there, or with a therapist. Emotional eating is something that you want to pay attention to. The only thing I will make mention of on emotional eating right now is, I don't know about you, but the step that has been missed and is most often missed for people is that most of us have not been taught how to feel our feelings. We will use everything else to stuff down that which we do not want to feel because it does not feel good. Nobody wants to feel anything that doesn't feel good. So feeling our feelings is a skill. I don't know about you, but I did not learn it when I was a child. So working on your emotional eating is number 4. So we've got sleep, protein, fat, reducing actual sugar intake, working on your emotional eating. Number 5, let's see. Oh, supplement with other low sugar options that work for your lifestyle. Some of you do not like to do this. You're either going to eat the real thing or not at all. That is wonderful. No problems. Your body, your choice always. I am just offering potentials. That's all. Example, I do like, because I can fall under all of these categories, gut bugs, carb sensitive bodies, and emotional eating. Trader Joe's has no sugar chocolate, dark chocolate that uses some allulose. So I can have my chocolate but not get the sugar. There are other brands like, feel free to put it into the comments. Gosh, here, I went down that road I shouldn't have. Low sugar chocolate. Lily's, Unreal, Skinny Dipped. Another alternative is Hu, H-U, chocolate. Sorry in advance for the price. They use coconut sugar. So even though it's still real sugar, it's less sugar than you would get in a regular chocolate bar that has the white sugar. So supplementing with alternatives or lower sugar, finding recipes, which you could do this holiday, that says, I'm gonna make the same thing just with less sugar. So that is an option as well, supplementing with alternatives. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 1, 2, 3 more for you. Okay, next one is careful with restriction and white knuckling. It's just gonna make it worse. So I would encourage you to work with your dietitian and ask us here in the comments, the more you restrict, the more you white knuckle, like, oh, I'm not gonna eat this, the worse it's gonna get. So I would encourage you to not restrict or white knuckle it. Okay, last two are gonna be supplements. I left them till last because there is no supplement that is a magic pill, okay? You gotta actually do the work too. So that's why I left them till last. The first one, and we have these in our Southwest Dietitian Group full script account. I will put a link below this live when we are done. There is a bucket, a category called sugar cravings, and all 3 of the next supplements I'm going to talk about are in there, all right? The first one is Gymnema. Gymnema. It's spelled G-Y-N. Is there 2 N's? No, sorry. Just start again. Scratch that. G-Y-M-N-E-M-A. Gymnema. Gymnema. So Gymnema is an herb, and I have the research here that I can cite for you. Gymnema is an herb that you can take as a supplement, and in a study, I wrote down how long it was, but now I'm forgetting. They tested in studies, and they showed that Gymnema, with a certain dosing, which I'll talk about, reduced overall sugar cravings by 28%. It is an herb. It's an herb like stevia is an herb, like basil's an herb, mint is an herb, Gymnema is another herb, right? So it can reduce overall sugar cravings by 28%. Now, something important to pay attention to, which I will not go into at this moment, but I will put below for you, is talk to your doctor dietitian about the research and the amounts. Something that I pay very close attention to in the research is, listen, what we also want to know, if these studies got this result, to reduce sugar, we want to take a look at
how much was taken? How much was taken? What is the amount of Gymnema? What is the concentration of Gymnema that got this result? Because sometimes just getting supplements off the shelf isn't necessarily going to give you the same amount that was in the study. So that's a really important distinction to pay attention to. Lastly, there are two supplements that have been, there was a pretty powerful study done with small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Now I'm talking about the gut balance, the gut bacteria imbalance. They used two supplements called Candibactin AR and Candibactin BR. These supplements have very, very high doses of herbs. Don't forget the disclaimer that I'm not your doctor. Always talk to your doctor before starting a supplement regimen. Very, very high doses of herbs. Think black walnut, garlic, those kinds of things. These high doses of herbs have been known to kill off the bacteria in the gut in terms of the opportunistic or bad bacteria. And so typically a round, I use in practice a bottle, one each of the Candibactin AR and BR. The dosing is different, so you have to pay attention to the dosing on the bottle on those. And that can be very powerful in conjunction with something like a Candida diet to help some of those sugar cravings if they are related to gut bacteria imbalances. All right, so that's what I wanted to share with you. We've got, in no particular order, and I'll post the full script link below this video for you. Supplement with alternatives. Get sleep. Don't restrict, don't white knuckle. Add more protein and fat. You can use Gymnema. You can use Candibactin's ARBR. Reduce your actual sugar intake and work on your emotional eating. All right, let's see what the community also had to say, and if you guys have any questions that has popped up. I don't see any. Okay. I'll post a link to the original post too, by the way, if you have any desire to. Gina says, great question and timely too. Thanks for asking what a lot of us struggle with, especially during the holidays. Amy says, in the beginning when I had severe sugar cravings, I would make a substitute that still tasted sweet, but I used stevia or lacanato sweetener, which is basically monk fruit and erythritol combined. I get the blue package because it's powdered and it does not taste gritty when it's mixed with things. I still use it to this day for some things. I just prefer it over sugar because it does not make my body feel bad. I can do a tiny bit of sugar, but it really causes stomach upsets and makes me feel awful. It took me a while to get to that point where I would choose how I feel over the cravings. Having a substitute really helps in the beginning. Jill says, I have a Chobani Flip It yogurt and Kroger frozen yogurt bars to eat for a treat. I eat meals, stay away from snacking, and have a Flip It or yogurt bar in the evening. John says, I'll typically have an apple. Then I find a task to do, whether it's going for a walk, lifting weights, or sweeping the garage. The change of scenery can take my mind off of it. That's something important to mention with what John said. So he does something to take his mind off of it, and there's a space creation. So if there's a sugar craving, physiological, mental, emotional, if we can create space between going to get the food, that can be helpful. Because if the trigger and the action of consuming the sugar is all together and no space in between, then I don't really have a choice. I have removed the option of choice from myself. If that trigger and reaction are all in one, if I create space when I have the trigger, there's space for me to respond. So if I can create that space and not have it be automatic like a habit, then I have space to choose and to decide. Now, also love the apple, and I kind of joke with this with some of my clients a lot too, because there was a very early version of Maya who would look at you like you were a crazy person with three heads if you told me to just go eat fruit to curb my sugar cravings. Now, as I evolved on my path and on my journey, then yes, fruit absolutely can curb sugar cravings. It just depends on why those sugar cravings are there and where you're at in your journey. Okay. So all awesome points. Gina also says, I have a Ninja Creamy. Who's got a Ninja Creamy? You gotta put your recipes below. I have a Ninja Creamy and like making healthy options. My favorite is with Fairlife chocolate milk and PB Fit. I add a scoop of Vital Proteins to increase the protein for a little more. After I blend this frozen dessert, I sprinkle 1 ounce of crushed walnuts on top. It's delicious and full of protein. And lastly, Jennifer says, I use Flavor God seasonings in yogurt. It's a game changer. I actually have never heard of Flavor God seasonings, and we'll look those up. Thanks, Jennifer. Okay. All right, my friends, that is sugar cravings. I'm gonna refresh the screen and see if anyone has any questions from our live. I do not believe I see any. Of course, you can make comments in the comment section below, and I will respond there. I hope this was helpful for sugar cravings. As always, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for taking care of yourself. Always reach out to us if there is anything that you need that we can do for you. Happy Friday.